So I'm going to go ahead, and I know that this is a severity medium vulnerability, so I'm just going to set that filter to make it a bit easier to look at. And now I can see that I have this cross-site request forgery that I can take a look at the details of. Now here with the details, I can see the description of the vulnerability, get some additional information about the various identifiers that identify this weakness. And there is training help built in through tools like Contra, Secure Code Warrior, and Secure Flag. So we have links to each of those training sites. With AI, I have the ability to explain the vulnerability, and this gives me additional details via the GitLab Duo chat window about what this cross-site request forgery issue is all about. So now it is populating all of that information. It is telling me why this is a vulnerability that we should be concerned about. And it is providing a specific example of how an attacker can exploit the code in this file where this vulnerability was found, and providing some suggested fixes for that. So that's great. I'm going to actually copy all of this information and save it aside, and I can provide it as an additional reference to be viewed. What I want to do now is look at how Resolve with AI is going to work here. And I'm going to choose that option from this Duo menu to see how we're going to be able to generate a merge request that provides a fix for this vulnerability. So while that is working, I will say that as far as I can tell so far, but based on my investigation, there is not the ability to perform these same operations from the IDE. So we have to use the web UI to generate this merge request, as far as I know. If anyone knows differently, please tell me. I've been doing some researching today, but haven't found anything yet. The documentation points me to the web UI and the vulnerability report, and then the details page. So here we are, we see the merge request that has been created. We see the AI generated patch. We can actually see the changes that have been made to the code to resolve this vulnerability. Now, a couple of interesting things here. The vulnerability report, where we're looking at this vulnerability, reflects the vulnerabilities or weaknesses in the main branch. So if I'm a software developer and I have a feature branch where I'm committing new changes to that feature branch, it's those new vulnerabilities and weaknesses are not issues are not going to show up in the vulnerability report. So there isn't a way for me in a feature branch, as far as I can tell today, to use the Duo AI capabilities to remediate the vulnerability before it gets to me, right? So to help me as a developer do the right thing to avoid pushing this code, and then having the vulnerability appear in the merge request as a high or medium, in this case, a medium vulnerability. There's no way for me to do that. I can only use the AI from the vulnerability report, which means it's already been merged to the main line. It's an existing vulnerability that we're going to fix after the fact. Which isn't ideal from a developer standpoint. Yes, it is very useful if you have a set of vulnerabilities in an existing code base that your SAST scanner has found, and now you want to start working through them and removing them, but it's not ideal from a developer standpoint, developing a new feature in a feature branch and just wanting to make sure they're doing the right thing prior to getting those code changes pushed to their feature branch and then merged to the main line.